In the table, in column C, we see the sold items, so the items that were sold by each salesperson, and in cell C17, we see the sum of these sold items. In column D, we calculated percentages. So now we know that Jane Pearson sold 2.41% of all sold items, and for example, Paul Rode sold almost 17% of all sold items. It's not very usual to use fractions, but Excel gives us this possibility, so let's take a look. Let's see how much these percentages are in fractions. So let's add a new column before column E. I will hover over column E, press my left mouse button, then the right mouse button, and I will click on Insert. So my new column E is totally empty or blank, and the new column F is the region column. Let's name this column percent fraction. And first, let's just copy over these values from column D into column E. I can select cell D2 and then press Ctrl-Shift down. But I don't want to copy the contents of cell D17. So I can press and hold the Control key and then click into cell D17. So now cell D17 is not part of my range. Let me press Ctrl-C. So now I'm copying this range of cells. Let me select cell E2. I will press the right mouse button, and here you see we have paste options. If I hover over these options, you would see what Excel would paste. And also look at the formulas bar. So if I choose paste, then the formula will be copied, but if I choose paste as values, then the values themselves will be copied, and I want that. So I will click on values. The format of these cells is percentage. Let me change it to fraction. Now this does not tell us much at this point. If the percentage is relatively big, for example roughly 17%, then we see that 17% is 1/6, or roughly 14% is 1/7. But most of the cells we have just a 0. However, you see that the value we have is not 0. In the formulas bar you see that the value is a fraction that is bigger than 0. So the solution is that we select all these cells and then click on this downward pointing arrow, and we arrive at the fraction group. Currently we have fractions up to 1 digit, but let's go with up to 2 digits. And here we go. Now we see the fractions. So now we see that 2.41% is 2/83, or 5.29% is 1/19. 16.6% is 1/6. However, 16.84%, which is just slightly bigger than 16.60, is shown as 16/95 in Excel. So if you want to work with fractions in Excel, you have the possibility to do so. You know what? Before I finish this video, let's just sum up all these fractions so we can confirm that the end result will be 1. Let's click into cell E17 and just choose the auto sum option. And indeed, we want to sum the range from cell E2 to cell E16, so I will just press enter. And the result is 1, and notice that the cell is formatted as a fraction.